everybody. Today we're going to learn how to draw dogs. All you will need for today is a pencil or a marker or a pen and something to draw on, like a piece of paper. The first thing that I'm going to draw when I'm going to draw my dog today is I'm going to draw my dog's nose. Now his nose looks a lot like a cat's nose. It still kind of looks like an upside down triangle. So I'm going to draw that flat line first. But instead of having two sharp corners like a cat, we're going to give it two round corners that come down into a point like this. It kind of looks as though someone started drawing a heart but forgot to draw that bit in the middle where it goes down and back up. Once you've drawn your dog's nose, you can color it in. So the second step is probably the hardest part of the whole drawing. If you can get through that, you can do the rest of it no problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the dog's muzzle now, and the dog's muzzle usually sticks out a bit from its face. So I'm going to start by drawing a line from on top of the nose, but not touching it, and not in the center. So I'm going to draw my line like this, and just watch. It goes around, goes down, and then it goes up. And the place where it goes up is right underneath that pointy bit of his nose. Again, it's not touching. It's not even really close, but if you were to draw a line straight down through your dog's nose, this line would end where that pointy bit is. Once you've drawn that line, I'm going to draw a second line, and it looks kind of like a U that somebody's squished. So I'm going to go like this. Okay. And this is actually my dog's muzzle right here. So it goes down, around, and up, and then over some more. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to draw my dog's eyes, and using the same line that I'm already drawn, I'm going to take it going up and around, and I'm going to curl it back on into itself so it actually creates a nice oval shape, and this is going to be the eye that's furthest away from us. Sorry, that's just my bread maker making some bread. Now I'm going to draw the eye that's closest to us, and it's going to be right here. I'm also going to do an oval. Yours don't have to be ovals, they can be circles instead, and that's okay too. And now I've got two eyes for my dog. Now I'm going to draw my dog's pupils, and my dog's going to be looking down as though he's just spotted something that he'd like to take a look at. So I'm going to draw a circle shape in the bottom part of my dog's eye right here. And I'm going to draw a circle shape in the bottom part of my dog's other eye. And I'm also going to give those pupils some reflection where they're reflecting the light. And you can just draw another circle inside those. I'm going to draw it at the top of my pupil like this. At the top of each pupil. And then I'm just going to color in the rest of the pupil. Not the white part of the eye on the top, but the rest of that one circle that you drew. So we can hardly see my dog's reflection in his eyes because my Sharpie kind of bled a little bit around the edges, but that's okay. So the next step that we're going to do is we're going to draw the top of my dog's head, and we're going to try to avoid doing a lot of straight lines because you don't find straight lines all that often in nature. And we're going to start from drawing by his eye that's furthest away, but we're going to connect our line that we're going to draw for his head to his muzzle. So kind of right here, and we're going to go up, up and around, up and around, and then over. So if my dog's looking a little bit familiar to you right now, that might be because my model for this was actually Clifford the big red dog, but I changed a couple things about it to make him just a little bit easier to draw. If you want, you can draw some eyebrows for your dog, give him some character. And now we're going to draw his ears. So I'm going to give my dog some big long floppy ears, and I'm going to draw the ear that's furthest away first. So I'm going to make his ear connect to his head. You can't see all of it because it's kind of hiding behind his head. And it's like a big, long, slightly curved line. And it's going to end here about at the bottom of his nose, maybe a little bit further. Now you can give your dog some really long ears, you can give him some short ears, you can give him pointy ears. It's totally up to you. Now I'm going to draw the ear that's the closest to me, and we're going to be able to see his whole ear. And it kind of looks like an oval or a rectangle or a U shape with the top on it. And I'm going to start drawing it from just inside of his head right here. And I'm going to draw out because his ear kind of flops out a little bit. And then I'm going to start going down. I'm going to go down, down, down all the way until it's about the same length as that first ear. Then I'm going to start curving it around and bring it back up. And then done. So now our dog has some eyes, it has a nose, it has a face and some ears. And now what we're going to draw is we're going to draw his neck. So all we have to do for his neck is just draw this little line here. So right from his muzzle near the end, we're just going to draw a curving line that goes down and a little bit backwards. And that's it. Now we're going to draw his collar. So his collar is also going to be another curving line, and we're going to take it from his ear down and to a little bit past where we stopped the line for his neck. So I'll draw the first line like this, and then I'm going to draw a second line like this, and then I'm going to stop. Now these two lines, they're parallel to each other, they're slightly curved. We can connect those right here with a nice straight line. And if you're feeling adventurous, you can make his collar look a little bit more three-dimensional by drawing one last tiny line from the corner of his collar up to his neck like this. And there you go. Then if you're still catching up, I'm going to take some time right now to color in my dog's collar. You can color yours any color you want, or you can wait till the end, or just leave it blank. That's up to you. So we have our dog's head, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw his body. And I'm going to start by drawing his back. So his back is actually going to come kind of out of his ear, because we can't actually see his neck because it's hidden by his ear. And I'm going to take this, I'm going to go down just a little bit, and I'm going to go up just a little bit and stop. So if you're feeling like that's a little bit too hard, you can just draw a straight line, and that's totally okay too. Or if you want and you're like, you know what, I really liked how I drew my cat's body, you can do the exact same thing with your dog's body and maybe just give him a shaggier tail instead. So speaking of tails, we're going to draw his tail now. Dogs again have all kinds of tails. You can draw a short tail, a long tail, a fluffy tail. It's totally up to you. So I'm going to just give my dog kind of a generic tail. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to wave it just a little bit like this. And draw a line out here. And then I'm going to let it stay kind of in a point. Unlike our cat's tail, which was really curved at the end. And I'm going to bring it back in toward his body. Again, pretty parallel to that first line that we drew, and it's getting a little bit wider as we get closer to his body. So now my dog has a tail. So now the next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my dog's front legs. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to draw his chest. So that's kind of a continuation of his neck. So if we see his neck right here, that little line coming to his collar, imagine that it goes in behind his collar and then it starts going down and just curves down just a little bit like that. So again, it's just one line going from his muzzle, kind of continuing that line of his neck all the way down into his chest. And when we draw his legs, we're going to draw his legs starting with his front leg that's the closest to us. So I'm going to start from inside his body just a little bit like this. Okay, you could start right from where that other line ended, but this will give it a little bit more of a look like it's three-dimensional. And I'm going to just draw a pretty straight line, a little bit curved. Line going like this. So that's the front part of his front leg. And then over here, I'm going to draw another line that's about parallel to it again, starting maybe a little bit lower. And I'm going to make it just a little bit longer too, because we have to have room to draw his paws in. So his paws are like a backward C with a flat bottom on them. So we're going to start from the front part of his leg, go out, make that nice C, and then where it hits the ground it gets a little flatter, and then we'll just connect that line there. So now we have a dog's paw. And if you want to give your dog some toes, all you need to do is just draw a couple of lines that are just curved lines near the front of his foot, like that. And then for your dog to have another front leg, this one's going to be a little bit hidden by that first leg because it's behind it. We're going to draw another line that's about parallel, but stops a little bit before this one hits the paws. So we're going to stop it right about here. And then we're going to draw that backwards C shape again and make it nice and flat where it hits the ground. So now our dog has two front legs. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to take this one line that came in as his neck, and then it became his front, and now it's going to become his belly. So I want you to imagine that it goes through his leg and continues out the other side. And we're going to draw his belly going like this. It goes down and then up like that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to draw his back legs. His back legs are a little bit thicker at the top than his front legs are. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a shape here that kind of looks like if somebody was walking backwards down a hill. And this is going to be the top part of his back leg here. And then what we're going to do is, this is kind of a tricky part because it's really hard to get those back legs the same length as the front legs. we're going to draw an imaginary line over here, and we want this to be to the bottom of his paws to be about right here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to draw the second part, the lower half of his back leg. We're just going to make it go this way. And bring it down a little bit further. And I'm actually going to draw his paws here first. So that's the bottom of his paws there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do that same C shape, that backwards C shape, and connect those two lines together. Okay. So we've got the front part of his leg there. And now we're going to draw his bum, and we're just going to continue the line of his back all the way down here. And we're going to stop it right about here because his legs are actually going to kind of bend backwards and go down here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this line, go all the way down here. Okay. And then we're going to go back like this, and then down. So that was pretty tricky. If it turned out well for you, then that's wonderful. If it didn't, then it just means you need to keep practicing, or if you're finding it that it's just too hard and you're not enjoying it, then you should look at my cat video and work on just drawing the body more simply like that, with just the four little legs that you don't have to worry about which ones are in the front and which ones are in the back. So we're going to draw his second back leg, and we're just going to see the bottom part of that leg. So what we're going to do is I'm going to draw this line here, the lower half right here. And then we're going to draw the front part of his paw again. Now if you want to give his paws some toes, you can. So again, those are just like little lines here. I'm not going to worry about drawing toes on the lines that are further away. And we have our dog. So let's say you want to give your dog some more personality and you want to color it in. You can color him any color. I'm going to make my dog into a Dalmatian dog. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw spots all over him, and all those spots, they don't have to be round. They're kind of like wobbly blotches that are similar size, but they're all going to be different sized. So you want to make sure that there's some spots on all the different parts of his body, and some of the spots you're not going to be able to see the whole spot. So let's say I have a spot on his back. I'm only really drawing half the spot here because the other half is on the other side of his back. I'll draw a spot here, and I'll draw a big spot here on his leg. We'll give him some spots on his tail. And a spot right here. And some spots on his legs. And you can be, your spots do not have to look the same as my spots. They can be anywhere. I'm not sure if Dalmatians have spots on their tummy or not, but that's up to you if you want to put any there. We'll make sure he has some nice spots on his ear. If you're feeling creative, you can make the spot look like something, like maybe like a heart shape. I'll draw a spot here on his face, and a spot on the top of his head. And so once you're done drawing all the spots, then you can color them in. And ta-da! My Dalmatian dog is complete. Thank you so much for following along with my video. I hope that you enjoyed it and it helped you to become more confident about drawing a dog. Tomorrow we will draw another type of dog, and I think that dog is going to be a poodle. So stay tuned for that and see you later. Bye.